Hello again. Today we will see how to display individual item from a list. Here we have some list of item, and if we want to view the details of an individual user, we just need to click here, this view, and we can see we have a database here, and in this list we can see only full name, email and contact, but we have other item as well. So if you want to display everything of an individual item, individual user, not everyone's, we need to click this view. Now this view is not working because it's not in anchor tag. So let me show how to do that. Here, this is the view, or you can write details. Here in details, we will click these details and we will see other items of this member. For example, addresses and others. So before that, we need to convert it to anchor tag, a linkable. Now this is a linkable item, and the reference will connect it to a controller. While you will connect to a controller will decide how to show an individual item. Controller will be member. Under member controller, we'll have a function called details. Then we'll pass the ID here. We'll call row. Here we'll pass the ID. Our ID name is member ID. So we'll pass this member ID so that only individual member will be displayed. Your member ID. Alright, so let me check first if it's working or not. Click details. See, in these details you can see they are showing member 1's data only for member 1, and if we click here you can see 5. That means this individual data will display. So now we need to work with the view. You can see that our link is properly working. So now we need to create a function in this controller, member controller. So let me check this member controller. Just we'll copy it for now. Alright, so need a function. Sorry, not this function. This is the function. Now as we already passed the ID here, so we need to work with this ID. So in this details function, we'll call that ID we already passed to the controller. Just write this ID name, member ID, member ID is equal to, by default it will be 0. If there is nothing, it will be 0. Otherwise, ID will be the ID what user clicked here. and we need to check this. Just writing a variable, and then we will go to the member model, and you can write a method, and we'll also pass this id to the method model. Sorry, we will pass this id to model. Okay, and we of course we need a view here, details. So in this details view, we will see the individual's details item. So let me create a details view. Okay, so if everything is okay with this model, it will come back and it will go to this view, details view, and then this details view will show the item, details item of members, individual members. So now let me check the model. We need to create a details function in this model, member model. You can also copy it, and then we will rename the view. We will rename the function name here. Now we will return everything as usual for now from the member. That is also okay, but now not everything. Now we will not return everything. We will return only what member clicked. Where member ID, that means this member ID, where member ID is equal to member ID. And this member ID is whatever we got from controller. Member ID is equal to by default 0. If any member ID is selected, it will come here, and for example it will be then for this member ID 4, then it will display the 4 member ID from database. Here it will display this. So we don't need to change it here. We will keep it as 0. System will change it, and now we will not show as result array, we will show as row array. Okay, so if everything is okay, let me check, refresh it now, click here. We can see the details member, the page is working, and also the member ID is okay. Now we need to create the view part. Check the view here. Member name, you can copy it also from here. It will be just like this, the same as before, but this time there will be no row, as we are showing this row because we use these members as row. That's why we are writing this row. but now we did not mention any variable here, so we will need to go to this member controller, and whatever variable we have created here, we need to write it directly. So member details variable, full name, right? Here's only one member we are selecting. Okay, something is wrong here. Let me check first. Alright, so we have an error. Let me find this error here. We have written this member ID is equal to 0, so we should not do that because here we already declared the 0. So right now it will go to the member model, this method get details, and in this get details it will collect everything from this table where member ID is equal to member ID. That means whatever member ID is selected. So now if we go to this, you can see the bar dump here, only one member's information. So we can right now, we can just create a view by this full name, then make this, addresses. This is a sample, you can write it anything you want, as long as it's matched with the database and the form. See, you can see only one member's information here. There is no addresses in here. Right. If you select this, you will find only one member's information. So this is how you can check individual items, individual data. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching.